This segment on Bridge Street is sponsored by Aging Advocates CNY.
Wills, power of attorney, and trusts, important topics. We talked about them yesterday. We're going to talk about them again today. What do they have to do with nursing home care, and who needs them?
These are all important questions, Steve, and to answer those questions that we're about to ask is Melissa Murphy of Aging Advocates of CNY and Karen Delaney of Sloan Delaney with some expert advice. So thank you guys for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. So we hear about wills, power of attorney, and trusts all the time, but I don't know if exactly everybody out there knows what those are. Can those be explained?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, wills are just the way that we distribute our assets at death. They're not the only way, but it is the main way that we distribute our assets. Power of attorney is a document that designates someone to make decisions about your financial affairs if you're not capable of doing it. So it's important to have both documents. And of course, trusts, a little bit different.
So what does all this have to do, Melissa, with nursing home care?
So Medicaid in your general life versus Medicaid at the end of life when you might need a nursing home is much different. So it's important that everybody understands how it plays into their specific financial situation. And unfortunately, the majority of people do end up in a long-term care facility or needing long-term care services towards the end of life. So that's where Medicaid will come into play for most people as far as how they pay for those services and care.
And those documents are important for anyone, whether they're in a facility, not in a facility. My clients range in age from 18 to 104. So, but we tend to focus more towards the end of life or maybe when someone enters a facility, because usually those questions then become more to the forefront.
And are we recommending everybody get a trust?
Oh no, it's every situation is clearly different. Okay. I do think that everyone should have a will, everyone should have a power of attorney and healthcare proxy, but we use wills for specific reasons. So a lot of trusts for a lot of different reasons. One type of trust might be good for one person, and one type of trust might be good for someone else.
And Melissa, there are different types of trusts, right? Can you explain the differences?
I'm going to leave that to the legal expert here, Karen.
There's really mainly two different types of trusts in the trust world, right? So we have revocable trusts, irrevocable trusts. We use them for a lot of different reasons. Both of them, if we use them properly, avoid the probate process. Irrevocable trusts we tend to use more when we're talking about protecting assets from long-term care cost.
When it comes to in-home nursing care, I think there's this conception that it's so expensive. But is that always is that the case, or how do people pay for it basically?
It is expensive. Yeah. There's no denying that. Yeah. So you can either pay for it privately out of your funds, or you can use Medicaid, which is the government assistance to pay for it. It's really important to know too that you can meet with a wonderful estate planning attorney and you can do all this work to have a trust and protect all of your assets to qualify for Medicaid, but then your options are going to be more limited. So it's really important that you work with an aging life care professional like myself, or research on your own the cost of these nursing homes or in-home care, and understand, are you going to want to use Medicaid as your payer source? Do you want to use private funds so you have more options? And work with your team of professionals to make the best plan for your family.
Yeah, always good advice. And remember, it always starts with a conversation. I know it can be difficult to have these types of conversations, but it's something that needs to be done. If you'd like more information, you can check them out online at agingadvocatescny.com or call 315-480-4770. This segment has been sponsored by Aging Advocates CNY.